Good evening and welcome. You're watching Bizz Talk on your channel of choice. And my name is Sinazo January. Now, this is the show where I bring you nothing but the best of the business sector in and around the Eastern Cape. And as usual, this episode is absolutely no different. And if you are joining me right now in studio, I've got a special guest who goes by the name of Xolisa Menemene. Now, he's going to introduce himself and let you know what he does exactly. Xolisa, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Sinazo. Good evening, Sinazo, and your viewers.
Now, before we do get started, kindly just tell everyone who you are and what it is that you do.
Oh, well, I'm Xolisa Menemene. I'm originally from Port Elizabeth, Motherwell. I'm an owner and the founder of Mr. X-Rays. We're based in Kwadwe Siziabuya Shopping Complex. That's where we started our practice about 7 years ago. And then we have another practice at Costin, 92 Durban Road in Costin.
Now, you started 7 years ago, but tell me, why did you specifically choose to open in practice yako etwesi?
Well, what happened is when I was doing my research, trying to provide accessible X-ray service to the people of Port Elizabeth, I found out that there's a whole lot of doctors around the locations, but there's not a single X-ray service that is offered there. So I wanted to bridge that gap and make it more accessible and more affordable so that we can early detect diseases and so that it can be treated as soon as possible. Yes.
Now, ngepho ivule kuqala le yasedwesi okanye le yaseCostin?
The Kwadwesi.
Okay.
Yes,
yeah. So you started ngale Kwadwesi, and then how did you decide ke ngoba masivule enye eCostin?
The numbers were growing, and also with the Costin one, the Durban Road, there's occupational health. It's like an occupational health clinic because it's closer to the companies where we have got contract with the companies and they come and do their medical checks at our practice. And also in the Costin one, we're doing mostly and more of a travel clinic.
Yeah.
So yes, for home affairs forms, and they need an X-ray done, and then that's the service we offer. And there's where as the Kwadwesi practice is mostly primary health care, where we diagnose and what's wrong with you and check if is there TB or is there is there fracture. Or, you see, that's what we specialize more on that one. Even though in the Costin branch we also provide the healthcare. Yeah.
Okay. So now you do your research. You decide about, you know what, I'm practice but how hard was it to actually open your own practice when you started out? Because you're young and business is not something like easy. So tell me, how do you even begin to start that journey, and why? What made you want to start your own practice?
Well, it was the journey. It was quite challenging. The reason I wanted to start my practice was because of I saw the need in the community that I live in. People having to travel to town just to get an X-ray done. You see, so I wanted to bridge that gap.
Yes.
And also, when they get to town, there's when they get to town, they have to travel back also. So it was to shorten the diagnosis time. Yes, and but the whole journey has been challenging because when I first started, there was no one to benchmark on in the Eastern Cape. So I had to travel to other provinces where I had to benchmark on how to do this thing. So when as a part of my research, I had to go travel and see the people that are doing this thing, how are they doing it, why is it successful to them, and come and implement those things here. Yeah. So the whole reason of opening my own practice, it was to bridge that gap in the community that I live in. People that don't have to travel long distances to get an X-ray done and also make it affordable.
Why do you think though? Because I'm pretty sure, but I don't go away. who studied in your field.
Yes.
But why do you think abanye don't do as you are doing? Okanye, why are we so short of such practices, specifically in the location? Because I think ngeyona ngabona abantu abayidingayo ngaba bantu baselokishini.
Access to funding. As a young black professional, access to funding is still a big challenge. You see, you have this big idea, you want to start a practice, but the entry to what you want to do is quite expensive. The X-ray machine, they're quite expensive. You see, so when you think of paying R1 million for X-ray equipment, it's like, no, where I'm gonna get that money? And it was a challenging process even for me. So I would go to I had my business plan, everything was planned out and everything.
Yes.
So when I went to the banks, I have this brilliant idea, guys. Can you please fund me? All the banks say, no, we're not gonna fund you. I went to even government institutions. It was, and those that claim that we support the youth. Yes, and it was quite a challenging process for me to get funding. But so what I decided on, like, I was working for government at that time.
Yes.
So I had to quit my job and take some of the money that was saved out from my pension fund. And actually take my own money and put my money to what I believe in.
Yes.
So only then when I got support now from
so that because by Bonile,
I really want to
I
really want to do this thing. Yes.
Which is a very interesting story. But let's take a quick ad break, and then when we do return, we're going to talk more about Xolisa's practice right here on Bizz Talk. So stay tuned. And welcome back in studio. If you are joining me right now, we are still in studio right here on Bizz Talk, and I am joined by a special guest who goes by the name of Xolisa Menemene. He is a radiographer from the Nelson Mandela Bay. Now, Xolisa, before the ad break, you basically spoke about the risk that you took with your pension fund and then starting your own business. But tell me about the pressure that came with that, because a business, like, is it worth the risk? Is it going to work? Is it not going to work with the money that I'm spending now? So this is do or die. Tell me about that.
Yeah, especially from home, because people from home, my parents, were not even sure if this thing is gonna work out. My partner even was like, is it worth? You're getting paid so well, why do you wanna risk it all?
Yes.
Like, this is something that I always wanted to do.
Yes.
To provide much needed service in the community that I live in.
So no regrets.
No regrets at all. It was
it was worth it.
It was worth it.
Yeah. Now, looking from when you started to where you are now, tell me about the journey. How would you describe the journey? And obviously, you have future plans for your business. But tell me about the journey from when you started up until now. Would you say that there are any mistakes along the way, or anything? Is there anything that you would like to rectify or from when you actually started up until now?
Yeah, definitely. Mistakes and failures are the part of the journey.
Yes.
We had some bit of ups and downs. Yes, I had some few challenges there and then, because it was my first time doing this thing on my own, and also I have a little guidance from people locally, people that were guiding me away, based in other provinces.
Yes.
And what worked in other provinces is not necessarily going to work here.
Yes, that's true.
So I had to, definitely, if I were to start it all over again, there are a few things that I know I can, I can change there and there.
Now, ever since you started the business, would you say you have any highlights of your business where you think like, yabonale, aye, milestone?
Yes, definitely. But in terms of, we each and every day we're making a difference in people's lives. Yes. The diagnosis we give, and some other people, they were not even sure what was happening with them. But when we diagnose and tell this is what is wrong with you, and they're grateful for that. And also, other than changing people's life, yeah, we had won some few awards. We also were nominated in few awards, locally and also nationally as well. And there's prize money that we won. Yeah, so yeah, there's been a lot of
highlights.
Yes.
Now, as a young businessman, what do you think? Let's talk about the career path that you chose. Actually, what do you think needs to be done to bridge the gap between the public and private sector concerning health? You know, because especially for the location that you chose, there's so many people in Lokshin who aren't exposed and who don't know better, who don't know where to go and what to do. But tell me about your experience and the people that you've like you come across each and every single day. What do you think can be done to actually improve healthcare to Lokshin as well, because there aren't a lot of doctors even at an affordable rate even for abantu bethu. So what do you think can be done? What do you think needs to be done? Is it a safety and security thing, okanye is it because just of funding, okanye is it because you don't want to take the risk to open a practice yako, you just prefer to be safe and then work under government? So let's talk about that.
Well, as a health practitioner working in the Nelson Mandela Bay, we face a whole lot of issues in terms of crime. Yes, there's a whole lot of attacks that are going around doctor's practice.
Yes.
You see? So we face that challenges. And the community as a whole, they need to work with us so that they can protect us as well. Because these guys that are doing these things are from the community.
Yes.
And they know. And now, for other people to come and risk to risk it all for being a victim of crime.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's not a wise thing.
Yes. But there's a whole lot of difference in the public health sector and the private health sector, yes. And as you know, with public, everything is free and all.
Yes.
But yeah, also us in the private health sector, we need to pay our bills, and
yes,
but we're trying to make it affordable for everyone that cannot afford a medical aid. So our cash price are quite reasonable compared to a person that is using a medical aid. You see.
Now talking about affordability, how did you guys manage? Okay, why do you guys think? How did you guys actually manage to even nisavulile ngoku, but it's after COVID. A lot has been happening, and the health sector, there was a lot happening. But how have you managed to sustain business yako even after COVID?
Well, your COVID time was very challenging, even especially during the lockdowns, and we were barely operating.
Yes.
And the cash flow was a bit of a challenge because we're not seeing the numbers that we used to see.
Yes.
Yeah. What kept, and lots of business closed after lockdown. Yes, we had to diversify, and we had to get contracts in place luckily with some medical aids. There's medical aids that we worked with, and we are a sole provider for x-rays for them.
Okay.
So if you're owning a certain medical aid, and you're around the Bay, and they contract to us, so they cannot go to any other place other than us.
Okay.
Yeah, so we were able to get such contracts.
Yeah.
And also we concentrating only on x-rays, we had to get into selling of x-ray consumables, protective wear and all.
Yes.
So yeah, we had to branch into that as well. And yeah, that's why we're still standing now.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is a very interesting story. But let's take another quick ad break, and then when we do return, we still have more for you right here in studio. So stay tuned. And welcome back in studio. If you are joining me right now, I'm joined by Xolisa Menemene. Now, Xolisa, tell me about the qualifications that are needed to be a radiographer. What qualifications do you have as well, and what did you have to study? Because also I think it's very important to improve yourself while you're busy with your business. So tell me about that.
Okay, well, for anyone that wants to do a radiography, you need to pass your matric with bachelor's. In our time, it was distinction.
Yeah.
You need to have pure maths, life sciences, and physical science.
Okay.
Yes, and then it's a 4-year course at the university. Yeah.
Okay. And then basically programs that you've been involved in nangoku so phakathi, and you have your own practice?
Yes, after I did my radiography, since I knew from the start that I want to open my own private practice.
Yeah.
Yes, but at radiography school, they didn't train me how the business component of it.
Yeah.
They just me how to take good X-rays.
Yeah.
And now I needed some business background also, so I did my MBA. So yeah. I have got masters in business administration.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I recently did my PGCE, so to improve in my public speaking and also
Yeah, so you have options. I like that. You're not boxed into one thing. There's a lot that you can do with your degrees that you have. But let's talk about the importance of a community service. Have you been involved in any kind of projects with community, and like it can be via youth development or anything else?
Yes, there are some few individuals that we worked with that we saw that there's when you see that there's something that is needed there, you would identify those kind of individuals. Me and my team as well, would try to to help out.
Yeah. Now let's talk about the importance of actually giving back to community, because this is also the same community that you have business in.
Yes.
So tell me about the importance that you think there is in actually giving back to a community and helping out where you can.
For any business, it is vital to help out when we can in the community, and also with the educate the community that we live in. We've been involved in educational programs in the community, the healthcare programs, and also and giving back. It's quite important to do so.
Now let's talk about the latest trending news about the NHI bill. What are your thoughts around that? Because everyone is very nervous about that.
Yes.
Especially about medical aid, because the reason why I've been in medical aid is so that they can get their own, but tell me about that. How is our future looking with healthcare because of this bill?
Well, with the NHI bill, I think it's a good idea for everyone to get equal healthcare service.
Yes.
Even though they cannot afford it.
Yes.
But now with the government, it's the implementation.
Yes.
The idea is great behind the NHI, but it's the implementation and also the funding. How the government is going to fund this thing? How the service providers that will be, especially in the private healthcare.
Yes.
People like myself. How is going to pay us? You see, that's the thing. Will you afford? Where is the funding going to come from? You see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
get that. And also, yeah, I think that's very important because people now need to know, but izawusebenza njani na ngoku.
yeah.
Nam, I don't know what their plan is, but I guess we'll see. But from where you are ngoku, how is the future looking for our healthcare? Our so let's say in like 3 to 5 years time.
Especially in my field, a
Yeah.
lot is happening in terms of the technology is
Yes. Yeah.
is improving each and every day in the radiology space. So things that we were using last year now they with the use of the technology. There's teleradiography now.
Okay.
There's telemedicine. You see, people you can at the comfort of your own home be in contact with
Yeah.
a GP elsewhere, and then you can get a mobile service X-rays to come and do your X-ray to comfort of your own home. You get the doctor gets a report. Even the radiologist that is reporting will be in the other side also.
Yeah.
So yeah, healthcare in South Africa is improving. It's a world-class service, yes.
Yes, it's moving on with the times, which is it's very interesting. But let's talk about the future of your practice and your business specifically. What can we expect from X-Ray Menemen?
Well, with Mr. X-Ray, we currently looking into getting a mobile X-ray.
Okay.
You see, so we'll go to doctor's practice, go do X-rays there. So if you at Motherwell somewhere, you don't have to come to us for X-rays. We'll go do X-rays there at the doctor's room. So and you get your report in about 30 minutes after we've taken the X-rays. You see, so we're looking into that. And also, we want to get ultrasound.
Okay.
Yes. Want to do ultrasound service, and we want to also offer a mammography unit so that people, they don't have to go to town to get to get a mammogram done. You see, and also there's a backlog, a whole lot of backlog in that space. Yeah. So we're trying to
make things better for it.
That's
I
right.
like that idea. Now, before I do let you go, because we have run out of time, unfortunately, but what advice would you give to students, especially during this time of the year? Abasafundayo, ababhala their finals, but what words of motivation would you give them?
Well, to young students that are, especially the ones that are still writing their exams, being tertiary on high school level, I want them to pursue their passion. I want them to work hard and stay committed to their goals. And I know when you've got goals, to other people, it's like they find them useless. But to you, if you believe in what you believe in, you stay committed to that. Work hard. The future is full of opportunities, and so you must stay dedicated. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tolisa. But one more thing, where can people get you? Is the practice zakho zithuza indawo edwesi nase costing?
Well, you can find us at Eziabuya Shopping Complex at Kwatwesi.
Okay.
Yes, and also at 92 Durban Road in Costin. Yes.
Okay.
And if you're not sure, you can check us on WhatsApp. Mr. X-Ray, you're on
Facebook.
Facebook, yes. Mr. X-Ray on also Instagram, Mr. X-Ray.
All right. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
I wish you nothing but the best, especially now that Unyaka Ipela as well. But unfortunately, that is all that we have for you for tonight. And that was Olisa Menemene, a radiographer from the Nelson Mandela Bay. But unfortunately, that is all that we have for you on Bizz Talk with myself, Sinazo January. Please do join me, same place, same time, right here on Channel 260. Right now, from me and the MPK crew, it is good night.